Jake Paul is one of the most controversial figures on social media today, with many people hating on him due to his cocky personality, cringe YouTube videos, and just being a very annoying person overall. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the evolution of Jake Paul from his early days on Vine and YouTube, all the way up until his quote-unquote boxing career, and I'm going to be discussing how and why he grew the audience he did. It's important to understand the way social media works. Jake Paul knows the easiest way to go viral and get people talking about him is to do crazy, wild, and a lot of stupid things that will be talked about by millions of people in the coming days. When you are watching a Jake Paul video, it's hard to tell if he's just putting on a persona for the camera or if he's actually the most insufferable person in the world. I tend to believe that he's just acting the way he does to get attention, but it's hard to know for sure. The same thing is true about Jake Paul's brother, Logan Paul, who I'm sure all of you guys already know about. Logan and Jake would act in very similar ways early on in their YouTube careers, but as time went on, Logan Paul matured a lot and stopped acting like an idiot for the most part, but Jake Paul is still the same guy he was in 2017 and 2018, getting on people's nerves every chance he gets. Let's take a look back on how Jake Paul started his YouTube channel and how he would soon reach over 20 million subscribers and over 7 billion lifetime channel views. Jake Paul uploaded his first ever YouTube video on March 27th, 2014, titled Jake Paul Vine Compilation Part 1, and this video has over 2.1 million views. Many of you may know that both Jake and Logan Paul started off on Vine, and that was the platform they originally gained an audience from. Now, I'd love to show you guys all their Vine accounts from back in the day, but Vine obviously shut down in January of 2017, so Jake Paul's Vine compilation on YouTube is all we have to work with. Now, usually when you look back on a first YouTube video from famous creators, it's filled with positive comments about how much they have grown or gotten better as a YouTuber, but with Jake Paul, most of the comments are extremely negative, ridiculing Jake Paul and sharing the hatred they have for him. A few of the comments that I found funny were, quote, and then the world started to suffer, and also, quote, when Jake Paul didn't have the ego the size of his forehead. These types of comments really show the legacy that Jake Paul has on YouTube, and it's not a good one. So why do so many people despise Jake Paul with a passion? Well, there are many reasons, but when it comes down to it, he's just not a good person. From getting arrested on multiple occasions, harassing people, and constantly being disrespectful on social media, you can't expect people to like him. Combine all that with the fact he's a multi-millionaire and a very successful content creator, and you can see where people have a problem with Jake Paul. Moving forward with his YouTube career, Jake would post a lot of vlogs in 2014, with each video having around 100 to 200,000 views today. Now, when I watch some of these videos back, Jake seems much more genuine in them, not trying to put on that cringe YouTuber persona, and some of these videos are actually very entertaining to watch. I didn't know anything about Jake Paul until he blew up in 2017 with all the music videos and controversy, so it's cool to see him vlogging in 2014 and 2015, and it's honestly like watching a completely different person. Jake Paul would post vlogs for a very long time on YouTube, but once he started making money and gaining clout, he started doing crazy things just to get attention, and it's pretty obvious that all the fame was getting to his head, and that's all he cared about. Fast forwarding a little bit to 2016, Jake Paul had started Team 10, which was a content house that he founded. A ton of content creators were a part of Team 10, but I personally didn't watch any of their videos. Some of the main members include the Martinez twins, Alyssa Violet, Chance and Anthony, Tessa Brooks, and a lot more. Now, the entire concept of a content house is very smart. A lot of popular creators come together to form a house, and everybody benefits off of each other's success. Team 10 was very popular back in 2016 and 2017, but pretty much all the members are relevant now, and Team 10 was a thing of the past by around 2018. Now, Jake Paul would get into a lot of controversy with Alyssa Violet, who claimed Jake Paul mentally and emotionally abused her. Alyssa Violet would be kicked out of the Team 10 house by Jake, and the drama between these two caused a lot of people to start talking on social media, and events like this are how Jake Paul uses attention as a way to grow his social media platforms. Even if many people felt that Jake Paul was in the wrong, it would still help his YouTube channel because people would watch his videos just to hate on them and make fun of Jake while doing it. On May 30th, 2017, Jake Paul uploaded his most famous music video ever, that being It's Everyday Bro, which got over 290 million views. Now, the actual song is terrible and the music video is cringe, but it's impossible to deny how popular this song was back in 2017. The video got 3.1 million likes, and I'm pretty sure it had significantly more dislikes than likes back when YouTube allowed you to see the number of dislikes on a video. So many other YouTubers reacted to It's Everyday Bro, and most people look back to this when discussing the annoying and childish YouTuber that is Jake Paul. 2017 was when Jake Paul was making all these music videos, and they are some of his most popular videos ever. Jake Paul uploaded songs titled I Love You Bro, featuring Logan Paul, which got over 175 million views, and Ohio Fried Chicken, which got over 75 million views. The The interesting thing about these two music videos is that they were posted only 6 days apart, which really shows the grind Jake Paul was on during 2017. You can make fun of Jake Paul as a person all you want and talk about how he's a terrible human being, but you gotta admit, he's worked really hard to get to where he's at. Jake Paul would also get into a lot of legal trouble, mainly being caught looting in 2020. Out of all the things Jake Paul could do, he decided to steal things from a store when he's literally a millionaire. I don't know why he was looting in the first place, but it's obviously a terrible look. Now, we've talked about Jake Paul's YouTube career for a little bit. I think it's time to mention his boxing career, which he is currently focused on now. YouTube boxing started becoming a popular trend in 2018, where popular content creators would fight each other in the ring, and overall, it was a very entertaining experience for the fans. Jake Paul fought Deji in his first ever amateur boxing match, and he ended up winning that fight. Now, most people think that YouTube boxing would die out in no time, but Jake Paul was seriously dedicated to boxing and took it more seriously than others. Jake Paul is currently 5-0 in his boxing career, with wins over Anderson Gibb, Nate Robinson, Ben Askren, and 2 victories against Tyron Woodley. Now, Jake Paul hasn't fought a real professional boxer yet, and he's definitely fought some weak opponents, but hey, 5-0 has to count for something. Now, many people actually believe his fights are rigged for him to win, but I honestly don't think so. He clearly selects weaker opponents that he knows he can beat, but as far as the fights being rigged, I just do not buy that. Jake Paul is focused on boxing in 2022 and doesn't really upload YouTube vlogs anymore. His only YouTube videos nowadays are promotions for his boxing matches, which sometimes break 1 million views. Whether you love or hate Jake Paul, it certainly is not easy to get people talking about you, and Jake Paul has been able to capitalize off of being an absolute jerk on the internet. As I mentioned earlier, Jake and Logan Paul are similar in many ways, it's just that Jake Paul never grew up like Logan has in the last 2 years. Now, Jake Paul is 2 years younger than Logan, so maybe he'll change his actions in the future, but I'm not counting on it. Jake Paul evolved from being a content creator on Vine to a hated YouTube vlogger to a hated boxer in a very short amount of time. Now, I wouldn't consider myself a Jake Paul hater or a Jake Paul fan because I believe most of the crazy stuff he does is just to get attention and keep building his social media presence. There is no way he acts like the annoying YouTube vlogger all the time, that just has to be a persona in my opinion. Make sure to drop a comment down below on what you think of Jake Paul. Are you someone that hates him with a passion, or do you think he's an entertaining guy that gets way too much criticism? I hope you enjoyed this video on the evolution of Jake Paul, and I'll see you all next time.